Welcome. This video is intended to give you an overview of the bulk email feature in CompleteEd. It is accessible through the Find a Page search and through the modules at the side. For today I'm going to just go through the Find a Page and type in bulk, and you'll see the option to go to the email on bulk. Alternatively, you can use the email comms and click switch to bulk, which will take you to the same place. Or if you're going from a contact and you click email, and actually rather than being this individual that you want to email, you want to send something to a bulk group, you can click on the switch to bulk version. It will close that and then open up the bulk version. So now that we're on this page, we've got two search features. We've got the ability to add parents and contacts in this top section, and at the same time, if you wanted to include staff into your email, you can send them from here. So let's start by looking at the parents and contacts. Now by default, when you open this page, the list that is produced will only include those of people who are current parents, so those whose children are allocated into forms in the current academic year. You can switch that off so that it will include all parents, and that will then allow you to include your admissions or people who have left and things like that. So for now I'm just going to leave it on the current parents. Then you've got the option underneath to build a recipient kind of query. Now I'll come back to that in a moment. So before I do that, you can see at the bottom here there's add a contact as a recipient. Now in here you can type in the surname and click to add them, or you can add the child's name. So in this case it was Benjamin Bunny. There are two functions underneath, so if you want to very quickly just add all your current parents to the list, you can click. It will just tell you that it might take a few seconds just to process, and we'll then add them all in. Once you've added people in, you can see whether people are missing their title in the contact record. That just means they will receive the email still, but at the top of the email, where it usually has the salutation, it will remove the salutation because it won't want to put in just dear and a surname. It will just remove it entirely because it won't know whether to put Mr, Mrs, Doctor, whatever. You can quickly just remove those, which then removes that warning, or you can send it anyway and it will include the person who has that but without their salutation. The next option here is to clear, so that just completely removes all contacts that you've added. So let's have a look at the query. So to add a query, if I wanted to say add a particular class or set of classes, I could just choose one class, or maybe I want to choose a couple of classes from the same year group. So if I wanted to choose anybody from form 5A or 5B, I can then click add parents to selection, and you can see below it's added the parents. If you've got a parent who's got multiple children, it will list all of the children next to it, and again I can clear that selection if I wanted to. So I'm going to add those back in, but this time I'm going to reset this form so that those selections are still in that list at the bottom, but maybe now I want to add in all of my pre-prep instead, or key stage 1 people. So I can either add them to the existing ones, which means they'll get added in as well as the ones below, or I can replace the selection with just the pre-prep ones. So in this case I'm going to click add parents. Oh, I haven't got any pre-prep on this, so if I just choose key stage 2 on this, so this is just my test database. If I add those in, it will then add all of them into that. If I wanted to, I could choose, again I could do my form 5A here. Just the one thing to be careful of is if I choose a selection from a field here, If I then chose to do my EYFS here, these act like AND conditions, which means they all have to be satisfied. So within the same input, this will be OR, so people who are in 5A or 5B or 5C. However, when you're going across and adding different fields, it will be AND, so they would also need to be in the EYFS category, which obviously year 5 aren't in the EYFS category. So if I now replace, it won't add anything. So if I wanted to maybe put just the people who, if I wanted to make it a particular I don't know, gender, so if I wanted just the boys, I can add the gender in, add male, and then add those to the selection, and it will just pick the children who are boys in that. And this is all based on the pupils category. As you can see, you can add other fields in. So if I want to look maybe at people who came from a particular previous school, I can pop that in, and then I can then look for other schools that are on my list and add those in, and you can stack as many of those up as you want. So that's the query bit. You can keep on stacking as many parents as you want, and then with staff it's more simplistic, so it's just a case of adding all your staff or removing all your staff. Likewise though, you can add in individual staff if you wanted to. So I might want to put Sean Connery in here as a member of staff. Now you can see his title isn't included. Again, you could just go into his contact record and check and amend the title if you needed that. Once you've done that, it's just composing the message. So you can add a subject line, your body, if you want to, so the standard salutation, if you leave this blank, is Dear Mr. Smith, Dear Mrs. Smith. If you want to, you can change this. So if you wanted to be a bit less formal, you could just put their first name. And you do that by putting the placeholder that's listed underneath. So I can have Dear F name for the first name, and I want to put a comma afterwards. So I've now got, it should be say Dear Ben or Dear Tom or Dear Emma or whatever it is, and you can test it and see what the message is going to be like just by hitting the quick preview. So you'll see this one is Sideshow Mel. It's picked up from the first person on the list and it's got their first name in there. If I clear this now, you'll see the change. So if I go to the quick preview now, it's got Dear Mr. Bob. So the person's name on this was Sideshow Bob, and it's pulled it accordingly. Once you've filled those top bits, you've got an option to, quite often you might want to put links into say a Microsoft form or a newsletter. If you want to add a new link into the bottom of the email, you click Add New Link. You put text for it, so it might be newsletter. As a URL, just for now I'm going to put in bbc.co.uk. Obviously you would put in the link that leads to your newsletter, and I can save and add that. And straight away, if I hit the preview, I can now see that this link has been placed at the bottom of the message in a nicely formatted button, ready for parents to click on to view the newsletter. So the next step is to add attachments. This has got its own step just to make sure that if you wanted to attach things, we've all been there, we've all created a message, forgot to send the attachment or attach the file, hit send. So this is just that extra step to make sure that you've got it. And really straightforward, you can either drag files onto here into this red dotted box, or you can click the box to search through your computer to find the files that you want. They will appear as buttons, and you can change the text that goes on the buttons. So maybe you've got a policy, and rather than it taking the file name for the policy, you wanted to say, I don't know, safeguarding policy or something like that. So you can make it a little bit more user friendly. Next I'm going to hit to preview. So you can see that it pulls in the preview, so it's kind of got a wider one that shows you what it'll roughly look like on a desktop, and then one that's more kind of upright as it will look on somebody's mobile phone. If you're happy with it, You click next, and then the final step is just to say, do you want to delay sending, so you can post-date the message to go out at a different time. And it's really straightforward. You just choose the date and time you want it to go. So if I wanted this to go tomorrow and I wanted to go at 6 o'clock in the evening, I can choose the date and time and hit apply. It will fill the box and then send it at that time. Now the final step is just to hit send email. I'm not going to click it on this video. Oh, actually, do you know what, I will. I'll click it. Because I've not chosen any attachments, it shows that I've not uploaded anything, and that's not a step that's required. So the step after that, once I've clicked this, will show you the progress of actually queuing the message. It'll show that it's processing, and once it's complete, it'll show as done. And that's the whole process of sending a bulk email. Really straightforward, really easy, and once it's done, you can hit finish, you can go back, and if you wanted to create a new message, it's already there, ready for you to go. I hope this has been useful, and check out our community site where there's lots of other useful user guides and videos, and also the opportunity, if you wanted to provide feedback or report bugs if you find things in the system.